Heyo, it's time for another Footpacks Through History. Today we've got a relatively new one, a Cons of Tarkir fat pack. In fact, it's a fat pack that I've opened several times on this channel. However, Cons of Tarkir is the 65th overall Magic expansion. It came out in September of 2014. And you'll find some more set information on the left-hand rail. Really now, at the time I'm opening it, the only chase rares there are foil and or non-foil fetchlands, leading the way with Polluted Delta at about 20 bucks. The cheapest fetch being Windswept Heath at $12.50. We drop all the way down to $5 for a Sorin, $2 for a Monastery Swiftspear, and the rest, even the Planeswalkers, are $2 or less. Now, there are some hits like foil Monastery Swiftspear and things like that, but for the most part, you're really just looking for fetch lands here in 2016. So it was a very interesting set, okay? It is part of the Cons block, which is a large set with unique draft structure. Small set drafted with both large sets, but the large sets are never drafted together. So you had Cons of Tarkir leading the way. One of my fondest memories of this set was, of course, the guilds Abzan, Jeskai, Sultai, Mardu, and Temur. It's generally accepted that Abzan was the strongest guild to draft, and in Standard it was the strongest color combination to play. It's still a very strong color combination to play. Jeskai had its day in the sun with things like Jeskai Ascendancy combo and things like that. Of course, there are personal allegiances to things like the other guilds, Mardu, or Mardudu, as some people might say. Sultai, which was one of my favorite guilds, or clans, I'm sorry, to draft, because it was often super open, but you would also have, here we have Zergo, right? I think that's Zergo up there, just kicking it old school styley. Was definitely a huge fan of this set. So here we have the guide, in which we are always curious to see what are, in fact, the top 10 coolest cards. Let's see. We have Anafenza, blah, 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 blah. Sarkhan, Sorin, get on with it. All right, not one fetchland. Oh, Polluted Delta's there, okay. Number 1, Sorin. Number 2, Sarkhan. Then we have PD. Murderous Cut, which is an excellent removal spell. Wingmate Rock. These are all very powerful cards. It's a very powerful set. Seeker of the Way, Crater's Claws. Snowhorn Rider was meh, but as a morph, it was a very strong card. And morph, this is the first interaction I've had ever with morph, where you cast a card face down for a 3 of any mana casting cost, and it's just a 2/2 creature. And then anytime you can flip it up for the predetermined morph cost, and something happens. It either just becomes a creature, or sometimes when it flips, other things happen. It was a super interesting mechanic. It made drafting really fun because you could draft like 5-color morph. What was that one card called? Not Trail of... Was it Trail of Mysteries? I forget. We'll probably open a couple of them, but there were definitely a few cards that led the way. And then we saw the Tri-lands, which were they're still played in a variety of formats, but they made drafting absolutely fun, especially with the chance of opening a fetch land. Playing 3 colors was definitely no problem. I'm actually very happy we got this Color of Dye. Very cool. We've got the Shield and 2 Swords, Cons of Tarkir, Manor Symbol. We have a basic land pack, who cares, and our booster packs. So this set, I remember when this set came out, holy cats, was it drafted, because everybody wanted to open those fetch lands. So here we have just an example as a morph card. You play this anytime you can play a creature for 3 mana. It's a 2/2. But then you can flip it at any time for 4 mana, and it becomes a 5/2. So the opponent just sees this, and it's a 2/2 or a token if you have it. I'm sure we have one. Here, one right here. Morph token. Okay? And then when you pay the morph cost, it becomes a 5/2. Now, this is not a great morph creature, but you get the idea of how it works if you've never seen that mechanic before. Throttle, which has been reprinted in the current set. So we have Winter Flame, Roar of Challenge, and I really liked how they put the clan like in the back of the, like you knew this was Teamer. Sultai Charm. All the charms are super strong, and our first pack has a fetch land. Well, we know this current value of this Windswept Heath is about $12.50. Very happy to see it, especially since this is a fat pack that I paid retail for a long time ago and was just sitting behind me in the Fat Pack Shrine, which is gradually becoming both pop figures and Legos as I fall in love with more and more things to collect. Here we have a Death Frenzy. Great card to wipe out all the morphs out there. Despise, solid card. Oh, I'm missing uncommon, but we have... I don't feel like I... Oh, maybe I did. Here we have Utter End. Very solid removal. Instant speed, exile, target, non-land, permanent. And we have a foil rare in this pack, too. 1,000 Winds. One of the biggest blowouts in terms of a morph. Because when you flip it up, return all other tapped creatures to their owner's hand. So if someone swings in with an attack, you flip this thing, and you feast on the tears of your opponent. Just saying. There are better foil rares, like a foil Pluto Delta. But we already got our fetch land, and I think that's kind of... This is one of the all-time, in my opinion, one of the all-time best morph creatures in Limited. As it becomes a 4/4 lifelinker. Hello. For 5 mana. Very strong card. Bellowing Saddlebrute. Very strong Mardu card. Water Whirl. Warden of the Eye. And a Hardened Scales. This is a card that has seen a lot of brewing in constructed formats as well. And another foil, Warden of the Eye. Hey, my eye! My eye! So it's called the Abzan House, the Jeskai Way, Sultai Brood, Mardu Horde, and Teamer Frontier. Just if you'd like to know the full name. We've got a Brave the Sands, Monasteries for the Spirit, solid card. Bear's Companion, a very strong card in the Teamer Guild, which in Limited wasn't the strongest, but still a very strong card. And we have a Mythic. Here we have Zurgo, Helm Smasher. Wow, this fat pack is loaded. Foil rare and a Mythic. We have a foil Scoured Barrens. But still the main takeaway here. That Windswept Heath. Pluto Delta was at the time and will always be the most likely the most expensive. Hordling Outburst. I saw a lot of constructed play. Ride Down, Dead Drop, and Jeskai Ascendancy. So this is a part of the famous Jeskai Ascendancy combo deck that saw some play. Was a fun deck, and Jeskai Ascendancy was a great card to draft as well. Jeskai was a strong clan to be drafting, and almost all the Ascendancies were very strong. We have Timely Horde Mate, Swarm of the Bloodflies. I always liked this card more than I should have in terms of where I would pick it. Ride Down, and a Bloodstained Mire. Holy cats! Okay, 2 fetch lands, 1 fat pack. So we have a Bloodstained Mire and a Windswept Heath. So we're about broken even. In 2016, there's not much you can open to earn your money back. But there's still fetch lands, and you can still buy Khans of Tarkir relatively affordably. We have a Goblin Side, Seek the Horizon, Nomad Outpost. Definitely a staple in all constructed decks that played these colors. And a Mantis Rider. Holy cats. This was a staple in the in many Jeskai color decks. 3/3 Flying Vigilance Haste is extremely difficult to deal with. First pickable all day in draft. Was strong enough to be very difficult to handle in standard. Just a good card. 2 packs left. So I'm glad that Fat Packs Through History, just so you know, while this is a newer Fat Pack, my mission is to open one of every Fat Pack ever printed by Wizards. And we're getting close. I was just told that a subscriber just sent a Guild Pack Fat Pack. So hopefully we'll get to do that soon. We just did Time Spiral, and if you missed any, this will be part of obviously the entire playlist. So I invite you to check out and see if you missed any I've done. Blinding Spray, Dragon's Eye Savants was a very strong card, I thought. Sultai Charm, and another Mythic, Pearl Lake Ancient. Definitely a finisher and control at one time in standard. 6/7 flash, can't be countered with prowess. Return 3 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return it to your hand. Was super annoying. That's insane. So we have 2 fetch lands, a standard staple, another very strong card, and 2 mythics, and a foil rare, and Utter End. This is pretty close to a godly level Fat Pack, even in 2016, where we're not getting much value for these other cards. Because now that you don't see any of these cards in standard, they have to be modern viable to retain their value, or other eternal format, you know. And if it's played a lot in EDH, it's probably only retaining value if it's foil. Sign of the Glaciers, I thought it was a solid card back then too. Incremental Growth, Heart Piece of Burn, our last rare, fitting, Meandering Tower Shell. Fine, I'm fine with that. Most notably, that Bloodstained Mire, Doe, and that Windswept Heath, Doe. We have, Bloodstained Mire, current values, $15.50 and $12.50 for the Windswept Heath. So those 2 alone recoup the $30 roughly that this Fat Pack cost. And we also got, a lot of interesting cards. I'm glad that we opened a lot of these, because in 5 years when people are looking at this playlist, those were a lot of relevant rares, and I didn't have to read off the interwebs which ones matter, because I was actually playing actively at the time when Cons was out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out the rest of the playlist, and we'll talk to you again real soon. What's up, and thanks for watching this video. I produce all different kinds of content, so if you haven't yet, click on my face to subscribe. If you want to watch more videos, I've got some sweet playlists, including this one, where I open up every Fat Pack ever created. I've also got this one over here, where I open just about anything vintage and old and expensive for your enjoyment. And all this is made possible by the awesome backers at our Patreon, which is linked in the description of every video. Hop on over there, check it out, see if it's something you might want to consider. If not, sit back, enjoy, and I'll still love you.